Belize. We'll tell you what the latest forecast says and tell you if and when you should start to worry. And the Minister of Government served with a committal warrant. Say it ain't so, but it is. We'll tell you who got served. And was a police firearm used in the murder of 16-year-old Frank Usher? We'll tell you why it is being looked at as a possibility tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscasts for tonight, Thursday, October 27th, 2011. Good evening. With your news, I'm Manure Craig. You may not have heard of the Gulf of Honduras project, but it's a tri-national plan between Belize, Guatemala and Honduras to protect the environment in the Gulf. Now, if that sounds remote, just think about the mountains of garbage and filth that wash up on the shore in Punta Gorda and Placencia from time to time. Most of the garbage originates elsewhere, but pollution respects no boundaries, so soon enough, everything that's over there will be over here. Special correspondent Janelle Chanuna found out how this project hopes to make that a thing of the past.
To reverse the pollution in the whole area among Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras.
According to coordinators, the Environmental Protection and Maritime Pollution Control Gulf of Honduras project is designed to create regional environmental benefits through public education campaigns in Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras, as well as launching technical initiatives with 5 ports operating in the Gulf of Honduras. And the regional ports are starting with themselves, implementing best management practices to reduce solid waste, water and air pollution at their respective facilities.
We have done everything to make sure that we have all the implementation in place to reduce any environmental accidents or hazards, and that raised the environmental consciousness of all the employees within the port. Even the stevedores, we have had sessions and training with them, trying to educate them into why we do certain things so that it's easier to have a smoother operation.
In spite of major effort being made, we still have not gotten the full buy-in from our people just to reduce the level of contaminants in there. And even if I reduce all the contaminants that leak into the port from my equipment, I still would have no control on the contaminants that comes in from customers, these huge trucks that come into the port. We get at least 100 of these big trucks almost every single day into the port. And I cannot stop a truck from coming into the port that is leaking oil.
Anything that happens in the mountains ends up in the sea. In this case, in our beloved Belize Barrier Reef. But not only that, we have also marine-related impacts. Ship-generated impacts is just one, but marine-related is many. So those are 2 focus areas that the government of Belize is looking for to begin addressing more seriously now, between now and hopefully the next 5 to 10 years, the whole issue of marine pollution.
According to Belize's Chief Environmental Officer, Martin Alegria, marine pollution includes invasive species like the lionfish, solid waste like plastics, groundings and other physical damages to the reef, and runoffs from construction activities, agriculture and aquaculture operations, as well as the dumping of sewage in the sea. The Gulf of Honduras project is not the first attempt to strengthen Belize's institutional and legal foundation to protect and sustainably manage Belize's marine resources. The Coastal Zone Management Authority and Institute has recently been resurrected with fresh finances, and the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef System Initiative is still technically ongoing. But even Alegria admits much more needs to be done.
We should never be comfortable. We know we can do better. But
this is $1 billion resource.
But not because these plans have not been implemented or initiatives haven't started or strengthened doesn't mean that we haven't been doing something. We have. And hence the reason of Jude, and one of the major mechanisms we use is the EIA process. in new developments coming in, including agricultural projects, tourism related, so on. We address the whole issue of prevention of any pollution going into streams, rivers, and eventually into the sea. And if it is on a coastal, even more so, prevention from coast.
And you're saying we have the capacity, the resources to monitor all those projects and make sure that nothing bad is happening?
No, I'll be the first one to say we don't have all the resources. Hence the reason why, as we move on, we try to institute mechanisms of, the first step is what we call voluntary compliance, placed into the environmental compliance plan, the contract between us and the developers, investors. So that's the first line of contribution from them.
The second line of defense is, of course, enforcement and fines and fees. But Port Manager Reynaldo Guerrero says his initial findings revealed that the catalyst for change must come from the individual.
For me, it is not so much enforcement, it is more working towards creating that culture change through a different set of values. More and more we are becoming environmentally conscious, and more we are seeing our individual role as a part of that process. And while there is legislation, I don't believe very much in legislation except in specific cases, and that I believe more in creating a sense of values in people to want to do it rather than have to do it.
If the general public does not demand, let's say, a specific sector to get a more environmentally conscious, it becomes difficult, because you as consumer, for example, will be buying the cheapest, and the cheapest might be the ones that are producing with the most environmental degradation or impact. So it's a culture change from the people who are consuming it, that the product that is produced is the key. That's not overnight, that takes time.
But as Belizeans discovered in August 2010, marine pollution can impact our economic and cultural reality overnight. Reporting for 7 News, I am Janelle Chanona.
Notably absent today was Ports Commissioner John Flowers, who was listed as a presenter but did not show. The Gulf of Honduras project is a 5-year project bolstered by more than $5 million in funding provided by the Global Environment Facility. A 31-year